Hey guys, it's Big Sexy with Big Sexy Outdoors. If you guys are looking for your bucks to be big and sexy like me, I recommend you go out and get yourself some Big Sexy by Domain. This product is filled with radish, turnips, and kale, and other vegetation to keep the deer coming back all season long. Go out to your local Tractor Supply and purchase some today. Big Sexy by Domain. Hey, what's up, guys?
How we doing? All right, getting some last-minute stuff in, and there we go. Hey, speak of the devil, and he shall appear.
I just said, I wonder if Brandon died.
No, I didn't die. Some days I feel like it, but not today.
There you go.
I got a busted foot, but other than that, I'm all right.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
No, it's a perk of the job.
Yeah, and those are some serious benefits.
Yeah, every once in a while you get a horse that decides just to stomp down on it and blow it all to heck.
Wow. I thought maybe it was this.
No. I have slipped in the shower before, though. You know, it happens.
I like that. That's pretty good.
Is that a big sex? Is that Dave? Is that Dave I've heard so much about?
No. It might be.
In about 2 months, that's going to be my buddy Tyler. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
If somebody does that, I want a video. I'm just telling you.
I'm going to buy him a kiddie pool just so he can set decoys out there.
Does he need that much practice, or he's just going to be missing it?
No, he's pretty good. He's just going to be missing it. Yesterday we were talking about. I already buy my Massachusetts big game license because
sorry, that's pretty good.
And that's funny. And so we were looking at it, and the goose season and duck season runs longer in Massachusetts. So we're talking about maybe next year hunting over there a little bit too. So
cool. What are you hoping to get into over in Massachusetts?
Well, so my parents live on the border, so I pretty much buy my big game deer hunting license there anyways.
Yeah.
So we're talking about goose hunting runs to February 15th over there.
Yeah.
And then also duck season runs to, I believe, the 7th of January. So might be kind of closing up shop in New York and then heading over there.
That might be Bill there. That looks kind of like Bill, guys.
I was thinking of Skip when I saw this.
Oh, yeah, okay. Skip with the fly rod.
Yeah.
That might be my uncle.
Yeah, he's got the Huntmaster's drink right there too.
Oh yeah.
When you're talking about deer hunting and a random girl says her family. Yeah, that's truth there. I'm a single man. That's truth there.
Do we need to find you some love there, Ben?
Listen, if it gets me 100 acres of private land, I'm doing whatever I got to do.
I know, like an 85-year-old widowed woman over here's got 400.
I'm in. She got a farm. Hook me up.
She's got a big farm and a farmhouse.
Male or big sexy.
Oh God.
Oh my Lord.
What the what my mom thinks I do, that's legit. I think my mom thinks I'm off on like a suicide mission every time I go hunting.
Yeah.
Chris, where do you find this stuff?
I don't know.
I've seen that circulating on some of the forums, and that, honest to goodness, because I had a shot at a really nice buck this year and I ended up missing just because of nerves. I got buck fever real bad, and then I haven't had a good opportunity at buck the rest of the season, so I've got like 2 weeks left, and I'm probably not going to tag out on a buck this year. So, I've been like seeing things like, oh, I'm throwing out my first time this year, and
Yeah.
like 28-point world record whitetail. Like, whatever, dude.
Chris, I love you like a brother, but I thought of you when I seen that immediately.
It is truth. It is truth.
I thought of you immediately. Yeah.
That is so true. Me and my wife have conversations all the time, and I'll be staring off into the middle of nowhere. And she'll be, what the hell are you thinking? And I'm going, I'm hoping that we get a south wind tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll put the ducks right in our lap where I want to set up. And she's like, are you freaking kidding me right now? And I'm like, no. She's like, you're just talking about something serious. I'm like, so am I. But
Yeah.
some ducks tomorrow morning.
This is a lifelong commitment here we're talking about.
You got to explain to her, if you get ducks, that makes her life better. See, they don't understand. Like, they think, holding hands and lovey-dovey's what makes the moment. That's not it. It's the time in the woods when you get to, you get to get yourself something. Then you're like, oh, honey, when I come home, I'm going to kiss you.
So when we first started dating, it was right around August, so we were coming into bow season and then into rifle season. And she knew I hunted, so it was pretty cold. And she, outdoorsy, she goes, "I'll go hunting with you, right?" I go, "Okay." So we go hunting. We're in this backdrop on the back of the state land, and I'm trailing a buck. And of course, in her mind, it's like this romantic walk in the woods, right? And I just happen to bring. Well, we get over this knob, and I know we're starting to get close to this deer. And she goes, "Hey, there's a deer over there." And as I turn and look, it's the buck I've been trailing. He made a loop back over the top of the knob. And as she's looking at him in the binoculars, I dropped him in his tracks right in front of her. And she was mortified to the point where she was like, "Yeah, so I'm going to go back to the truck now." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine." And that was the last time she went hunting with me.
Oh.
It's okay.
Hunting,
It's okay.
in quotes.
Yeah, exactly. She was like, "I didn't think we were going to kill anything." And I'm like, I'm out here to kill something. Like, I'm out here for the experience, but at the same time, I was on a trail of a buck here. Like, if I wanted to watch deer, I just drive down the road at 11 o'clock at night.
If you got a picture of that buck, you should send it to Chris so we can take a look see at it.
Yeah.
Oh, I definitely have I don't know if I have it with. Where the hell is that buck? He's on my dad's wall.
Okay.
Actually. Yeah, we're not allowed to hang deer in the house here, so they're all at my parents' house.
So I just need to make sure I understand. So she does wear the pants in that family.
Well, when the hen crows louder than the rooster, it's a sorry household. But
I got you.
I'm still allowed to go do what I want to do.
You just can't show it off.
It just doesn't get hung in our house. Granted, she did purchase this house before we were together, so this is technically her house.
Well,
yeah.
Technically, she said you can't hang it in the house. If you build enough awnings outside, you can bring the whole house with it.
I mean, I could put it in my shop.
Hey, there you go.
Technically, by law, 50% of hers is yours once you say I do. I'm just saying.
That's true. I'm just trying to figure out which
You're
part.
talking to a man that was divorced, Brandon. I know the law.
I know the law, he says. Yeah. But I don't want to be divorced. I kind of like the situation.
I'm just trying to hook you up, brother. I'm just trying to tell you, technically, 50% it's yours.
Just trying to help you out.
It makes my dad feel better that there's big deer hanging on his wall down there too.
So. All right. Well, I'm gonna tell you that my bucks are all hanging on my dad's, except for my daughters. My daughters are here. All mine are at my dad's.
Someday when we do have children and they start hunting and they start dropping deer, then we're gonna have the conversation of where I'm putting them on the wall. But until that happens, they can all go to my father's house.
We're in the process of getting a house right now, and I'm already like scheming everything, and I have to take a step back sometimes and be like, okay, it's not just my place. I gotta remember that. You
gotta remember it's not a bachelor pad, man.
That's right. Yeah,
I already have guns all over the damn house, and she's always like, "Oh, there's a gun in every room," and I'm like, "Yeah, there's probably two if I look hard enough."
She's Jazzbeer's. She's walking around going, "Man, this is 5 bedrooms, 2 baths. Look how nice!" And he's going, "I can hang a buck there and over there, and my trout will fit right there." And she's like, "Get out! They didn't buy it yet. Get out!"
Across over here, we can have a bear across the banister. Oh yeah, big time. Yeah. Where am I gonna put my elk? That's what I'm gonna I gotta think ahead. I haven't gone elk hunting yet, but I gotta know.
Put the ditching on.
Yeah,
elk are big, or just shoot cow elk, and then you don't have to worry about it.
That's a good point. I've got we could just do skins too, and do pack mounts on everything.
There you go.
15 pack mounts.
There you go.
That's a pretty good point, honestly.
No, honestly. So Brandon, you were saying about the first hunting experience. I think it was only the second time I took Kayla out. I shot a buck over in North Carolina, and it was just. It was a rough go. It was a rough time. It was a rough way to see a deer go down for the first time.
At least mine dropped in its tracks.
Yeah. I shot mine with a crossbow at quite a distance, and it penetrated. It went through both shoulder blades and hit both lungs, but
he still ran. Yeah,
he ran, and he of course it broke the front 2 legs, and he did a backflip, knocked his antlers off. And so, it's just this, groaning critter that's making noise.
Downhill spiral from the minute the trigger was pulled.
Oh, dude, it was rough. And, even for me, I was I felt so bad because I was I could have done better here. But it, things happen. But she handled it like a champ. I was surprised. So.
Yeah, I think my wife and I would have never got married if that happened.
I'm thankful that it didn't then.
Right. She keeps going, I'll go duck hunting with you, but it's inevitable that eventually you're going to get a cripple on the water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're going to have to shoot them. Or there's some pretty choicey stuff we do in the goose field when there's a goose running across the field. So I think I sent one of you guys the meme of
that was me.
John Daly smacking him with the back side of a shotgun.
That was pretty good. I like the marmot one you sent me today. That one really Did you guys see that?
No.
I don't think I sent it to them. It was funny as hell.
That was probably not for Flight Company. That one was really funny, though. That was really good. It's like a marmot just making noise, and then somebody,
And then somebody dusted it 200 yards.
Absolutely dusted it.
Oh, gosh. But, I definitely think that if I had a bloody mess on my hands the first time, we probably wouldn't be married right now. But it's all good. we ate that deer. She ate it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they never argue with eating them. They only say, "Ew, that's gross," until they're chewing on it. Then it all changes.
Yeah, exactly.
That is actually amazing how that works. Like people will suddenly change. Like I'm an advocate of always telling people what it. Like I don't try to do like slip it in and then go like, oh, you're actually eating venison. Because I wouldn't want that done to me. So, but every time I tell them, yeah, just try it. It's venison. They're like, I don't know. I don't think I like it. And it's like, well, they try it and they're like, ooh, maybe I do.
Yeah. Yeah, but they always want it from you though. They're not going to go harvest it themselves. They're just always like, oh well, yeah. I mean, if you got any more of that deer meat, I would totally go be down for dinner tomorrow night. You know, it's like, okay, yeah, sure.
So, hey, listen, real quick, I want to touch base while we got people coming on more and more. We're getting likes and laughs. The month of February is going to be Girl Power, Women in the Outdoors. We have truly booked Tess Tally.
Sweet.
We have now booked, and this is booked. They're scheduled themselves. Linda from Trapper Girl Incorporated and Angie Cokes, who's a spear hunter. I'm super excited.
Awesome.
I just want everybody's listening. Month of February is going to be huge. We need one more. Chris and I send out a few messages tonight trying to get us one more. My daughter will be on all month, that whole month, so I'm super excited about that. She'll be on with us. And I also just booked us, I believe, next week. I forgive me. I can't pull my phone off to double check the name, but I think it was spring game calls. He's actually only 3 towns away from us and just started making them. And he has a monster call selling right now. Early bird game calls. He has a monster call selling right now, which is not a turkey call. He told me he is absolutely can't understand it, but it's squirrel calls.
Yo, I think I've seen this guy not that long ago. He's got diaphragm squirrel calls.
So he'll be on. He's supposed to be on. He's supposed to set the schedule up to be on our next one. So
Okay.
I'm waiting to hear, but I sent him the schedule yesterday. He told me he would confirm and he'd get back to me. But he's pretty sure he can make next Monday. So you guys, we'll be excited to see that as well. I know I will.
Yeah,
absolutely. That'll be awesome.
And Brandon, I don't know if you were on, but tonight's topic is going to be Saturday versus Monday hunting and then Sunday hunting as well. So Saturday I'm super excited to get into that. Yeah, because in PA, we don't have that, but you guys get that.
You're damn right we do.
Right.
I'm an American. I'm an American. I pay my taxes. I'm going to get whatever I want.
So that's kind of part of our subject tonight. We started the topic last Monday, and we were determined we were going to finish it this Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So I had like weird, sketchy Wi-Fi service last week for whatever reason. I couldn't even like get on the internet half the time anyway. So I figured rather than cutting in and out, I just forfeit last week.
Well, I'll start for us. So here in PA, we cannot hunt but 3 Sundays out of the year, and they just changed our season opener from Monday to Saturday. And it is an absolute argument that they want it back to Monday. They don't want it Saturday. It's stupid. I'm going to tell you guys, I think it's fantastic it's on Saturday because I work 60 hours a week. And I absolutely love the fact that I can go hunting the first day and not have to worry about it. I mean, that's just me for a Saturday.
Absolutely.
And Sundays, PA needs to open up Sundays.
Yeah, I mean, that needs to happen for you guys, and it needs to happen for the state. I believe, like, New York has it pretty mapped out pretty well where we actually get even if we don't get a lot of hunters, we get a lot of hunting license sales, which goes towards conservation. I mean, they really screwed up about 10 years ago on how they did that, and I can explain that later. But we open on a Saturday for deer every season, like archery, and then, with the exception of are what they call the holiday hunt, which is the day after Christmas to the first of the year. So wherever Christmas falls, the day after, then we get to hunt till the first of the year. But I believe your blue collar workers, your 9 to 5ers, Monday through Friday, are going to be more apt to buy a hunting license if they're allowed to hunt Saturday, Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And why wouldn't they? It makes sense.
Absolutely, yeah. And if your goal is really, you got to think that as a conservation organization, you're either their fish and game or the DNR, whatever it happens to be in that state, has got to. I mean, I feel like they've got to recognize that if their goal is population control and meeting quotas for like keeping herds at healthy levels, and they want to have finances for conservation through hunting license sales. They want to have active communities of hunters to maintain populations and to be active in that process to prevent basically the state having to do it. And they also just want to promote the economy essentially that surrounds the sporting goods industry, which all ends up benefiting through Pittman Roberts, all ends up benefiting them. You got to think that like it's a no-brainer to make the opportunity as great as possible for hunters or even people that, like you said, who may work 9 to 5s Monday through Friday, or maybe even work Saturdays. You got to think that there's a benefit to that.
Yeah.
So I'm Pennsylvania, and I work 60 hours a week. Chris is Pennsylvania, and Chris has a little more free time during the work week. Chris, what's your perspective on all this?
Again, yeah, I never understood. I mean, you can hunt crow on Sunday. You can hunt, I think, some predator on Sundays. Why not just open it up? You know, you can fish on Sundays. Why can't you hunt on Sundays? That's just my thought. No, I don't think you should open it.
What about the open?
Like I've heard open it year round. Like make your tags valid year round until they're filled. I've heard that. I
don't think that's a good deal.
No, I'm just saying what I heard.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. That's an interesting argument. I'd be interested to kind of hear why
anybody would want that.
Right. Mm-hmm. Because realistically, and we all know, when you start hunting at the beginning and the end of the season, I mean, if you've got a deer population that's pressured 365, I don't know, man. It's already
deer are smart. The deer won't come back.
Yep.
Well,
my opinion, the deer are smart. You're going to push them off. You'll never see them back. And I'm not saying ever, but you're going to go to posted property, and that'll be where they stay.
Yeah, but I mean, not only that, bucks drop their antlers. So that totally shuts down an entire industry of trophy hunters.
I agree.
If you think about it, right, the most money spent on deer hunting is from trophy hunters. The scents, the camo, the tree stands, the boot pads, all this crap that these guys buy, the deer calls. We don't need damn deer calls to shoot a doe. I mean, no, seriously, all this stuff that people purchase, you buy new rifles, you buy bows, you buy this, you buy that, everything that you would ever literally, I would say that 90% of the spent on deer hunting merchandise is purchased by guys who are going after target bucks or a mature whitetail buck to hang on their wall and eat, right? So, because my grandfather doesn't give a crap. He truly doesn't care. If it's brown and he's got a tag for it, it's down. He's been hunting with the same rifle since 1957. Has not purchased a new one. Has not purchased new hunting clothes. Has not bought a deer stand. But if he was a trophy hunter, you better believe he'd have deer stands hung everywhere. He'd have this, he'd have that. So you would shut down an entire industry to have tag year round, because what would be the point for these guys?
Well, yeah, and you got to think too. I mean, just in terms of survivability, if you're looking at this, like you got maybe that's where you're going with this, but like if you got target bucks, if I have 365 days,
you accidentally shoot him during the summer, and you don't have his antlers.
Yeah, I mean, like or even you shoot him in velvet or whatever. I mean, like you could be taking that deer out at pretty much any point in the year, and as a trophy hunter, that it would be difficult to kind of compete with that, especially if you're looking for a specific time frame to harvest it in. But the other thing that I think would be really interesting too is it's just like some of the arguments for preventing Sunday hunting are related to like cultural things like going to church and stuff like that. That we'll talk about more in a moment, but like some of that stuff, I don't know, like if you're trying to limit and gauge how people are using their time, which is something that I think fundamentally, like now I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. Like what they're trying to push towards is a bad thing. I think it's a great thing for people to go to church. I go to church. But at the same time, like that's a person's choice. And if their only time is if they can go to church on Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening, but they want to go hunt on Sunday morning and go Saturday evening or Sunday evening, they should be able to do that and kind of figure it all out for themselves. So, but if you got 365 days a year, it's going to be tough to. Like you're now fighting a different balance of time management.
And not only that, but if you shoot one in the fall or the winter, and you have to come back and get it later, you're relatively sure it's going to be fine. You shoot one in the middle of summer, you got to come back and get it later.
That's a really good point, Chris. There'd be a lot more ways, and I think just honestly, if you even think about accessibility. Like in PA, you guys have so much foliage there. I mean, can you imagine trying to hunt in the middle of August with all the bushes and scrub and everything that's just completely folds out? It would be hard to see anything.
You couldn't even get in on a trail, honestly. I think all four of us could vote now and all agree that we would never hunt all year round. Yeah. I love to hunt. I love to eat deer meat, but I much rather leaves falling off the tree. I mean, let's face facts too, guys. We don't just go out to kill some. I mean, yeah, we do. But so speaking of your Sundays, I go out there for peace most times. I mean, I raised 3 kids alone. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, I go out there for peace, man. I get out there in the woods sometimes. I just sit there, go out there, look at the beautiful leaves falling off the tree. Deer comes. I mean, don't get me wrong. It don't change. I'm excited and going. If it's a doe or a buck, I'm like, woo-hoo! But it's, it's just, I think that, I don't know. For me, it's bigger than just that. So I think we'd all vote no 365. But I mean, Sunday hunting. Go ahead, Chris.
My thought is this too. Like, it's the whole Christmas every day thing. Then it's not special. Now when it's in the fall, it's something I look forward to.
Agree. Agree, Chris.
Well, yeah, and like when things wind down in the summer, your sports are going away. Kids are back in school. It just makes a lot of sense. Construction starts to wind down in the winter. Like it makes sense to have that accessibility and the opportunity at that time frame because it aligns with obviously antler growth, breeding seasons, and I'm just going to take a quick step back and mention this too. If you've got 365 days, you can't overmanage that deer population too, or any population for that matter. So it's like just because it's 365 days does not mean that they're going to issue another 150,000 tags. It just means that there's going to be about the same amount of total tags or total quotas, and it's got to be done in a bigger time frame. So you might be done hunting by halfway through the year.
Well, don't forget they also take that percentage right around fawn birth. So you got to really put a damper on that. Plus, you kill a doe with 2 fawns in her belly. I mean, I don't know about you, but why would you want to do that? I would never want to do that. That would be terrible.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to say next too. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't know. After a certain time when antlers are dropped, you don't know. I mean, coming from a guy who gets red tag permits from August to September, right? So I have the ability to harvest deer in the summer. And like we were saying, that lackluster fact of looking forward to the fall, that does actually happen to me. It takes away a little bit, but I look at it in a different standpoint of I'm managing deer on my friend's farm that he's just going to kill and dump anyways, right?
Well, that's different, I would say.
So I'm harvesting does that are now going to go for sustenance for me, my family, my friends, things like that. And then for me, deer hunting season becomes like a buck season for me. Like, yes, I have doe permits, things like that, but most of the time I'm not going to harvest a buck that like I let little ones pass all the time. I made it oops this year. It happens, whatever. But I'm looking for a giant. That's what I'm looking for. I am that trophy hunter now because I have the ability to take does from August.
Didn't you just shoot a spike buck?
I did. I just said that. Let's stop.
Hey, it's a trophy, man. It's a trophy.
I've never participation trophy.
Listen,
that was a horse. That was a horse, Brandon. I didn't go there.
Oh, I'll go grab the pepperoni stick I made out of that sucker. I'll sit here gnawing on it while we have this podcast.
Trophy pepperoni.
You're damn right. It was really good too.
I'll bet it was. Dude,
but you guys said about Sunday hunting. So Sunday hunting for me, and Jasper, you and I touched base in this last Monday a little bit. Is I believe you said it best was I don't always talk to God at church. And I'm a huge believer in that. So for me on a Sunday, I guarantee if it's Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it doesn't matter. I spend a tremendous amount of time when I'm hunting with God. Matter of fact, I will be honest with you and tell you that more time of my life talking to God is in the tree stand or in the woods. And I share those moments with my daughter as a father whose daughter hunts. And she'll be like, Dad, there's nothing coming. Dad, it's terrible. And I'll be sitting in the stand and I'll be like, you know what, honey? Just pray. Just pray. And I mean, if you watch that deer hunt video of her shooting that doe, I told her, you got to make a decision. What do you want to do? And make the right decision. God will bless you. And her decision was a pass, all them deer. And she made the right decision. God gave her look at that. I love that. Look at that. Ralph Alders.
Definitely, Ralph.
And that's true, Ralph. That's true. I want you to know, Ralph. That's exactly what I'm saying. Yep. I couldn't agree more. I mean,
yeah, I'm with you there, Ben. And honestly, that's what part of our mission as BrowTine is to connect people with God's creation, because it's like when you walk into nature, it doesn't matter what the context is. If you're hunting, hiking, you're just going with your family, you're going to go see the Grand Canyon, you're going to go to the local state park. It doesn't matter. When you step into nature, you are inside. You are now actively interacting with God's creation in a way that's very it's spiritual if you allow it to be. If you're tuned in and you're paying attention, you're enjoying it. So just kind of talking about what the whole point of the debate is. I don't understand what that context is. And if you want to go to church, you can still, especially this time of year, once it gets to November 12th or so, you can easily go do a morning sit and make it to church still. Because now, my church, it has a service at 10:45. So I'll hit the deer stand. I hit a property that I know is only going to have movement in the early hours of the morning. I get in there a couple hours early. I sit, I enjoy it. If I see deer, great. And then I take off, go to church, and then I come back and home and take a nap. So it's you don't have to do one or the other. You can prioritize both things, and you can use that time in the tree stand to reflect and to meditate and to be with God. And I think that's an important part of hunting in general too, because like you're saying, Ben, when you and your daughter are up there and you're talking about, you're interacting with it in a very visceral sense. You're talking about, hey, what do I need right now? Why am I sitting here? Why am I waiting? It's because something's coming, and you can reflect on that, and you can you can learn a lot about life and a lot about what God's plan for you is just through being patient and waiting. And I know I found that to be true out in South Dakota. It's like every single time I found myself in need of something, if I just was patient and I prayed about it, thought about it, it would reveal itself at the right time. And I just needed to be patient, and I needed to be thoughtful and mindful and keep faith, and I think that that's a huge part of hunting. So,
and God blesses you. I mean, God, I believe God blesses you dramatically in those situations, especially if you said, I'm going to go hunting Sunday morning, but I'm going to go to church Sunday, and then I'm going back out in the woods. I'll bet you, I'd be willing to bet that those hunters that go out in that afternoon, God's going to bless you. You may not shoot a big buck, but you're going to see deer. He's going to let you know you made the right decision, and I'm a believer in that. Nobody will convince me otherwise.
Sure, even if it's just a piece that's over you, knowing that like you're prioritizing it, right? I mean, it just
absolutely.
I think it doesn't like you guys have all three of you have pointed that out at some point or another. Is it's more than just shooting a deer. It's the experience of being out there. It's then you said watching the leaves fall, right? There's like a piece in all of that, and there's an experience in all of it. And we went duck hunting a couple of weeks ago, and I don't think I said this the other day, but when we went duck hunting in the morning, we just got our decoys down. We were kind of back in our blind, chilling, and this owl came across, which I've never seen an owl flying like that close to me, but it was like 15 feet away, and it just went straight by. So like you couldn't hear it, right? But it like looked over its shoulder at me and my buddy Scott and just like watched us as it flew by. And it
didn't ask who did it.
Dude, it
didn't ask who. If you tell me it asked who, I'm done.
Where's my gun? I got it.
Woo! Woo! Jasmine! It's Jasmine! No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
That would be that would have been great. I wish that would have happened, but no, it did. It looked at us and it just like it acknowledged us, and it was like that was like really wild. And then it flew back out, and we kind of lost sight of it, and then it came back around and took another pass, and it just kind of looked at us again, and it was like, dude, that is such a weird experience because it's usually the other way around. It's like you were looking at it, acknowledging its existence, and it was like, no, I know you're there, and I know what you're doing. It was really weird. It was weird. It was cool.
Chris, you had some. What did you have, Chris? I know you're going to say something. I seen your hand go.
I was going to say, you're also shown that often out there that you can see that God has a sense of humor, without a doubt. Because, I mean, I was out squirrel hunting the one time, and 2 8 and an 8 and a 10 came in. Do you remember this one? Okay, yeah. I literally stood up and videotaped this thing, and I sent it to him. I stood up. These deer came walking across. Then they walked like 20 yards closer to me, and they're right in front of me. Now, normally, if a deer's right in front of you, you stand up and wave at it, it's going to run away. I stood up and had a conversation with these deer. I said, hey, how's it going? And I'm talking to Ben. I'm like, look, these sons of bitches are right here. They're not doing anything. It's bow season. I'm out hunting squirrel. I got nothing. Look at them. They're just standing there, and I'm waving. They're looking at me. Then they just walk off.
The best part of the humor is how many squirrels did you see?
Not a one. But then I left that day, and I got my crossbow that's behind me. Went back to that same spot, that same time in the morning. Never saw him again.
Yeah. Yep. They said look at the size of that squirrel. That is unbelievable. Yeah. I'm never coming back here again.
No. Yep. Oh my God! It was
wow.
I thought you were going to say because when you miss it 7 yards, the deer stands there and looks at you.
Oh, I did that one too.
It is like snippets in time. I don't know about for you guys, but there's like different snippets in time of almost every hunt I've ever been on. And even if the hunt didn't produce, there's little things that are etched in my memory of every hunt I've ever been on. Mm-hmm. Whether it be like I was sitting in one spot and the grass was blowing funny, or there's one that I can think of that happened this year. It was opening day of duck season. Was kind of a cluster the way everything went down. I had ended up planning on a solo hunt, and then my buddy Tyler, his cousin, showed up. We rode way further. I'm a really bad judge of distance. I said 200 yards. 1,000 yards later, we were finally to where I wanted to be.
That's not bad.
Yeah, they were a little pissed rowing up current on the way back.
It's only like a third of a mile. That's not that big.
Yeah, I mean that's nothing. I mean, dude, you can make that shot at 200 yards and never drop.
Of course, yeah. But as day broke, right, and these were like almost the only wood ducks we saw all season, pretty much. These 3 female wood ducks hens come over the top of us, and they were so close, yet I felt like I couldn't shoot them. And one of these hens actually flared sideways, and she literally turned her belly towards me and stared me dead in the eye, like, "Hey, how's it going?" And like, not to be funny, not to be quaint. It was just like a beautiful moment of like. And so at some point, when I have 3 hen wood ducks, I'm going to have that mount made on a piece of driftwood, where that dominant bigger hen is staring me dead in the eye, like just the beauty of that. And I was like, holy crap, it was so cool because I mean I could literally see the pupils in her eyes. She literally stared me down as I kind of looked up, and she knew I was there. I knew she was there, and I just never even shouldered my shotgun. And I could have got them. I mean, they were there, but it just is what it is. I mean, I love like little things like that, or like when those 13, 14 Drake mallards, all greenheads, cupped in on the last day. Yes, I shot one, but the way they cupped into my decoy was so perfect. Like it was like I've hunted all season to have this moment.
Yeah.
And just have them cup and just drop straight into my decoy so perfectly that I was like, holy crap, look at this,
Mm-hmm. It's like
hunting Saturday, Sunday versus Monday gives you more time to do that.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Am I right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Not everybody. And not just for a select few, for the vast majority of people.
Yeah.
That is true.
Now so while people were watching, we've been having people come out the whole time, and I mean our numbers keep going up, and then they'll drop a little bit, then they come back up. So you're from Ohio,
right?
And you're from New York, and both of you guys can hunt Sundays, correct?
Yep.
Correct.
And since you've been hunting, has your opening rifle been on Saturdays?
As far as I can remember, ours are either Fridays or Saturdays.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, years ago, I want to say, like, when I was a kid, I remember my dad being a little bit up in arms about it changing to a Saturday because he used to take the first week of rifle season off from Monday to Friday.
And I think, not to interrupt you, but I think that's what people are so upset about. But I understand you can still take the week.
Yeah, I know, I get that, but my dad was like, man, now I get to, take off a week to go hunt deer, and it was like the thing, and then when it changed, he was like, shit, what's the point? I'm going to try and shoot one in the first 2 days and then work the week. But I think he really enjoyed having that. Now he takes the first week of trapping off anyway, so he's doing his thing, But,
well, and I think an important thing too is like, I don't know, Brandon, how old were you when you started hunting with your dad?
Oh man, so the first sit that I can remember.
Amen, Fidel.
I was a little kid. I mean, I was probably 6 or 7. But like here in New York at the time, we were not legally able to carry a rifle until the age of 14.
Okay.
And now they've changed that. Now they've brought it back down to, I believe it's 12 or 13.
12 here. It's always been 12 here as far as I can remember.
Yeah.
Chris, you can't carry a rifle.
It used to be it used to be 14 and
Me too.
And you had to be accompanied like within a certain distance of said adult. So it wasn't like your dad could set you down here and then walk 400 yards to go hunt his.
Can you tell my dad that? Because when I was 12, that's what he did.
Yeah.
He'd just be like, stay here.
He tried to leave you in the
I'll
woods.
be back, but he never came back, guys. He never came back. I had to go looking for him.
Builds character.
But yeah,
he was afraid of being so close to you with that rifle.
Yeah, right?
You get eaten by a mountain lion. I'm getting drug off, and he's just, I wonder, I hope Ben's okay.
Gave you a flintlock that didn't go off. What?
Yeah, he just didn't want to ruin his hunt.
Yeah,
that's exactly right. He said it's good for your soul, and then he's like, "No, I'm gonna go back."
Off subject, but no BS. I was 12 years old. My dad sat in a hollow. Matter of fact, we were on the Lebanon County line, Schuylkill-Lebanon County line in state game lands. And he said, I need you to sit over here. I'm going to go sit in this hollow. And their deer sign was ridiculous. And I said, okay, Dad. And listen, God's honest truth to this. He said, do not move. I'm tired of putting you somewhere and you move. Don't move. I said, okay, Dad, fine. I won't move. So we were there about half hour. And I swore I kept hearing, Ben, real loud screaming through the woods. And I was like, I ain't going. I'm going to get in trouble. I ain't going. I'm not moving. So after about an hour of thinking I'm hearing my dad scream bloody murder, I was like, I better go over. I guess if I get in trouble, I get in trouble. And I go walking over, and my dad was 30 feet in the air. And when he grabbed this branch to resettle his butt, the branch broke. And he fell down. He broke his back. We were a mile in the woods. This is God's honest truth. We're a mile in the woods. He broke his back. So I'm 12, and he can't get up. He's like, you got to do something. Now, my dad's a contractor at the time, and I'm like, what the frick do I do? So I thank God I was a football player my whole life. So I run as fast as I can to the truck. I get out to my dad's truck. I'm digging. I'm looking. Here's what I find, a 4x4 sheet of plywood. I go running back in the woods. I said, Dad, get on the plywood. I'll drag you. Well, my dad lays in this board, right? And every 4 foot he fell off. He was so pissed. And he wasn't mad at me. He just was in so much pain.
Yeah.
So he'd fall off and you hear him go, ah! And I'd be like, oh, my God, now what? So I threw the wood. There we are in state game land. I just chucked the wood. I'm like, Dad, let me run. I'll go to, there's a house like up by the parking lot. There was a house all by itself. And I said, Pop, I'll run up. I'll go get help. So he's there. I'm good. He wasn't good, dude. He couldn't even move. So he decides he's going to walk out. So he starts walking, and I run for help. I go call 911, called my mom. I was bawling, let her know what was going on. You know, I thought my dad was going to die. So I go running back in the woods. And here he is. My dad is the most stubborn mule in the universe. He wouldn't just wait for the ambulance. We were a mile back. He wouldn't wait. Every step, he'd fall on the ground. Ah! Get back up again. Ah! By the time the ambulance got there, he was 20 feet from the truck.
Wow.
With a broken back. I mean, my dad is the strongest man I've ever met in my entire life. I've never seen a man like him. So it was an experience as a 12-year-old boy that this is why you stay with somebody, because it could happen to you, not only him.
It could happen to anybody. Yeah.
But that's 3 times, 2 more times since then he broke his back.
Mm-hmm.
My dad has plated solid steel from tailbone to the top of the neck bone.
Wow.
Yeah, he fell out a couple more times. Yeah.
Yeah, no BS. No BS. I mean,
ground.
Seriously.
So you want to talk about an experience? I know it's kind of off subject, but we were talking about.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, it's an experience I'll never forget, ever.
Oh, I can't imagine.
And it made me, as a hunter at 12 years old, like even now, I always say I don't hunt alone.
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
I'll walk up in the woods if I'm like, well, listen, if I'm only 100 yards or 200 yards off the road, I'll hunt alone. But if I plan on going deep, you won't see me alone after that. That was an experience for me that made me very aware that things can go bad very quick.
Yeah, no kidding, dude.
I don't have one as serious as that, but I have kind of a funny story with my father as a child. So I was probably 15 or 16 at the time when we're shotgun squirrel hunting. Leaves are still on the tree, so we're using shotguns instead of 22s, right? And my dad has like a weird fascination with buying random knives from different things, right? Like not like random, like, oh, look at this thing I got with like a skull and crossbones and shit. Like, not like random using knives, right? So he buys this 5-inch. It was called the Sportsman from some cutlery website that he found. Well, the sheath that came with it was a piece of crap, but the knife was really nice. I actually have one around here somewhere. Super cool knife. It's a good, like, deboning knife, whatever. So we're squirrel hunting, and he sets me up on this hedgerow, and then he goes up a little ways. And about 20 minutes later, I hear a shot ring out, and my dad is one to like jump up and go get the squirrel real quick so he doesn't forget where it is, because like he'll never find it if he waits 5 minutes, right? So the next thing I know, I hear like what sounds like an R-rated movie, just screaming and swearing and cussing, and I hear
the squirrel got him.
Right? That, so I'm thinking, I don't know what happened. Like, I really don't know what happened, right? So I come running up the hill. I got my shotgun loaded, I had a single shot 12 gauge, and I'm just huffing up the hill, right? And I get up, and there's my dad bent right in an L with a knife in his ass cheek all the way to the handle, right? And I'm not kidding. So this sheath had a loop.
I just snorted.
Like, literally, the loop off the belt of this knife sheath had to be like 7 inches to cover the handle, because the handle was so big on this thing, right? Well, when he went to sit back down, my dad's kind of a shorter guy. This thing had spun, and he sat down on this knife and drove it all the way, I mean, right to the handle. And we were just telling this story actually at Christmas dinner with my wife.
Chris had a mute. Look at him.
Like, I'm not joking, right? So I'm standing there in awe and like dumbfounded about what to do here, because this knife is through the sheath, through his hunting pants, and into his ass. Like, I mean, just boom, right? Wow. And he goes, "You gotta pull it out." And I'm like, I'm not pulling that thing out. And if you guys have ever watched Talladega Nights, like, I'm thinking like, oh, cut around the skin, you know, that kind of shit. I'm laughing my ass off about this. But literally, he's like there in excruciating pain with a knife just jammed to the handle. And I'm like, this is a 5-inch filet Sportsman's knife. I mean, this thing is in there. And he's like, just give it a quick pull. And I'm like, okay. Well, stupid me being a kid, I'm not thinking I have to undo the clip on the sheath, right? So I yank it, and it only comes halfway. And my father wanted to beat me with the butt end of his shotgun. And I'm like, I got to push it back in a little bit to get the damn clip undone. So I literally...
So the sheath stayed in his ass, and you could put the knife in and out.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And I had to get the damn thing undone so I could get the knife out of his ass cheek.
Oh, my God, dude.
What was funnier than all of this is watching my dad walk across the hayfield with his hand on his ass like he just shit himself. Like, I swear, you know that walk you make when you're not quite sure what just happened? My dad is covered, his hand is bleeding, and he is doing the walk of weird shame all the way back to the truck. And I couldn't help but laugh the entire time.
Look, I know I'm going to hell, and I'll be driving the bus for this one. But, you know, tell them I'm sorry for laughing. I just couldn't help myself.
No, I mean, we were literally laughing at Christmas dinner this year with my wife over this. Somehow we got on the subject of this knife buried in my dad's ass cheek at Christmas dinner. But
dude,
it was
you
bad.
guys were probably carving the Christmas turkey and thought of it.
Pretty much. I mean, we were dying laughing over this. It's funny
Talk
now.
about putting it in the ham.
My dad goes at Christmas dinner, goes, I still got a scar. You want to see it? And I was like, no, I think we're good, Pops. But oh man, it was quite the experience.
Dude, if that knife sheath would have stayed in there and you could put that in and out yet to this day, that would have been phenomenal.
Literally.
Oh my gosh.
Oh Lord. I mean, it was quite quite the hunting experience.
You're gonna need a minute up.
But yeah, I know it's not like traumatic.
Jasper, I don't know if you can. I don't know if anybody can top that. I mean, I don't know if we can top that story.
I'll have to get my father on here, and he'll tell you exactly how this happened. He'll just be like, "I was stupid and went to sit down on a rock and ended up sitting down on my knife." Like, oh my lord!
I mean, look at me. I've been
stabbed.
Buy
that shoot again, huh?
I know it hurts, and I feel bad for him. But him, that was funny.
The good news is you knew the knife was sharp.
Oh, it was damn sharp.
Like,
right? I mean, I try to be positive in everything. You knew the knife was sharp.
Yeah, there was no blunt force trauma. That was a perfect cut. You just went right in.
Tell me, what did he go to the hospital?
Oh yeah. He got 2 stitches in his ass cheek from that.
I'm just like trying to. There's so many different details here that I'm like trying to imagine without also.
He's lost for words. He's chuckling and like in shock all at the same time.
Exactly, because like I'm thinking of this like 5-inch long wound channel in your ass, and like and then like your son like trying to pull it out, but basically just jiggling it a lot. Like,
it's exactly what happened.
So I'm just trying to put it all together and be like, what? Like, how would I feel in that situation?
Like the sword in the stone when he's standing on the rock trying to pull the.
Yeah, exactly. Pulling the Excalibur out of my dad's cheek.
I bet you weren't the king that day.
No.
If you got yelled at and not holding the flashlight right, how bad was it?
I remember my dad sat on the knife. My wife's laughing about it over here. She's like, "Yeah, we're talking about this."
That is hysterical. How did he? So he ended up driving then?
Oh yeah, he was bleeding everywhere. I mean, he was bleeding pretty good. He ended up.
Why didn't you hold it for him?
What's that?
Why didn't you hold your hands over it for him to stop?
No, that wasn't going to happen. I was
keep pressure.
At that point. No, I was laughing at that point.
The real question is, was it the right or left cheek?
It was the right cheek. And so the funny part is he rode to the hospital in my mother's Jeep Cherokee on his stomach with the seat reclined with his butt in the air so he couldn't bleed all over the damn place because he wouldn't go in an ambulance.
So you guys drove home first?
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah. We drove home. And then we took some home.
Pictures, made a journal entry.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. We made him sit on a piece of paper so that, like, he got a little shrine of the blood, you know. I'm just kidding. But
you got, like, those psychology things, the blot test, and you're all
yeah, exactly.
I see my father's butt.
Yep. Pretty much.
I think it's more funny he's at the hospital bend over with all this blood poured out his butt cheek and Brandon's probably standing in there watching.
No, I didn't go to the doctors with him. I just stayed home for that. I had seen enough. I had done my civil duty pulling the knife out of his shoe, so we were good.
He left the knife sheath in his butt can. I mean, Jesus.
It is what it is.
And the funny thing
is,
is,
when you decided being a physician's assistant just wasn't.
It wasn't for me.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it.
That's insane. I mean, on a similar vein, but just not. I can't come close to that, and I have
none of us can.
And I have no desire to. I'll just put it this way. I was out in New Mexico hiking, and my dad was there with Boy Scouts at Philmont, and you go out and you do some mountain biking while you're there, and I had to go first, and he was going to be the last person to come down the trail. And there was a particularly tricky spot to negotiate. And I remember getting to that spot and thinking, like, I almost fell. I really hope Dad doesn't fall there. And we get down to the end of the trail, and, you know, one person, two, you know, I'm third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, you know, now he's the last person, 8th person come down the trail. And I'm just like, man, he should be here by now. He should be here by now. You know, a few minutes go by, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 25 minutes. Like, okay, we got a problem. And we're way out. We're like 60 miles out. Nobody's coming, you know. So I'm just about to go. Basically, we're about to go look for him. And here he comes, just trundling down the trail, and he's got his arms all buggered up and everything. He had fallen there and cut his arm. And I just remember that whole experience being extremely concerning, and just the anxiety and concern and fear that I had, knowing like Dad might be hurt, and like Dad's Superman, right? So it's just like,
right.
What the heck happens, right?
Not my dad. My dad was
I think I was 16. So, yeah. But I can't imagine what that must have been like, because it's just like, in my case, my dad was fine. You know, he was skinned up and we took care of him and he was fine. But like, I just can't imagine that, like, under those circumstances, either a 5-inch knife or a 30-foot fall. Neither could be good, you know?
Listen, my grandmother ran my father over with a car and drove away one time. All right. My poor father has had
let's spit his drink out.
My dad knocked himself out with a fence post pounder one time. My dad got bucked off his horse and relocated his shoulder at a kid's parade. Like, my dad has had a bad run of luck. I can tell you that.
My dad's the same way.
Were you there? Were you there for those as well, or?
I'm like, I see a pattern.
I was there for those, except for my grandmother running him over. There's like this funny thing in our family where like people never look when they back up their vehicles for whatever reason, and they just throw it in reverse and hammer on it. So my father was on a 4-wheeler loading it. My grandmother has a detached garage, which is on the other side of the property. So she gets in her car and hammers it in reverse while my dad is on her 4-wheeler, hits the 4-wheeler and my father, rolling him over and crushing his leg, and then drives away.
Oh, no.
Well, he was in her way.
Like, literally, she had no idea she hit him, right? So, like, 2 days goes by. My dad is basically on house arrest from this. He's got his foot up and everything, sitting in a recliner. And my grandmother shows up and is like, "What the hell happened to you?" And he's like, "You literally ran me over." And she's like, "No, I didn't do that." Right? My grandmother noticed, though, that when she got groceries, that her car had a ding in the back of it. They thought that somebody backed into her car in the parking lot. Not that she had literally ran my father over on the 4-wheeler in her own.
It had a ding and a dong when she was done.
Oh yeah, It had a bump and a scratch. That's for certain.
Wow.
So we've gotten far. What'd you do? Kick him off?
No. I
Whoa, they're all gone.
They're all gone.
They're dropping like flies. Is my grandma backing up a car? Is my grandmother backing up a car right now, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, we're near the end, but holy crap, I didn't know your grandma was going to back over people.
Right. Just running people over left and right.
Oh, there he is. Oh, look at that.
We thought my grandma
got run over by him.
I'm not sure what happened.
So, listen, we're about ready to wrap up, and we're having a great time. But I'm going to tell you a story. I don't care if we're on a couple minutes yet. So I was about 20 years old, decided to go rabbit hunting with a buddy. And I won't say his name. He's on our Facebook. He follows our stuff. I refuse to put him in that situation. But we go out rabbit hunting, and we didn't see anything. We were out a few hours. And I said, "Listen, there's a rabbit in this bush." I said, "I see it laying. When I kick this bush, shoot it." As I took my foot and hit the sticker bush, he shot me. There I laid. Out. Got me. I got hit with the wad to the right side of my you-know-what, and down I went. And I am rolling in the sticker bushes back and forth, screaming. Now, I'm a jokester. You guys know me. So he's laughing. He's hysterical. He thought it was the funniest thing in the universe. He's like, oh, real funny. Oh. Dude, I was so mad. I won't lie to you. I stood up from the ground, and I was like, "You think it's funny?" And then he started crying because he knew. He was like, "Oh, my God, I'm so sorry." So I was covered in pellets. Covered. Now, the best part of this story, and you're not going to believe this, but again, God's honest truth. He had loaded his gun. He unloaded his gun. He said, I'm done. I'm done hunting. I quit. Like, he was devastated. I said, the heck with that, brother. We didn't shoot a rabbit. We're going hunting. I'll figure it out when we're done. So I hunted, and he followed me for about another hour. After I got shot. Finally, we went to his house, and at that point, he was married. And he said, what are you going to do? Are you going to the hospital? I said, dude, it was an accident. I'm not going to the hospital, but I got to know how bad it is. Like, we got to figure it out. So I laid there. You want to talk about embarrassing? I laid there in my underwear, pulling them up, wrapping them because there's babies through my underwear yet, just trying to hide my you-know-what. And I get her to pick BBs out of my leg, him with a knife, his wife.
Wow.
So she's in there with a knife. Bling, bling. So I don't know how many BBs they plucked, but at that time I was married, and my wife was pissed because I didn't go to the hospital and rat him out. I just wasn't doing it. If he shot me on purpose, it would have been different.
Sure.
If I was injured to the point I couldn't do it, thank God for briar pants. I'm telling you, thank God for briar pants.
Isn't that slowed it down?
Well, that, and I think he shot a 20 gauge, so I think that was another bonus to help me. Because honestly, man, I don't know if I could have got I'll tell you the worst part of the feeling wasn't being shot. Now, when he shot me, you know what the worst part was? It burns. It's like you're on fire. Every hole's like you're on fire.
Wow.
That feeling is a feeling I will never forget in my entire life. It's like you're on fire.
Jeez, dude.
Do you still get BBs surfacing out?
So you probably won't laugh at this, but I went to Chris is gonna laugh. I went to Michigan on a work trip about 4 months ago. I go to Michigan and I go into the Harrisburg International Airport. And it turns out I have two spots on my belly, one near my you-know-what and one on my thigh. And I didn't think nothing of this, right? I just was like, I wonder what the heck. So they say, Mr. Brown, do you want to go in the back room or do you want us to search you here? So I said, I got no shame, brother. Do what you're doing. They reach up under my you-know-what, and they're feeling it to make sure I don't have, anything hidden in there and whatever. So then, now I'm thinking, okay, sporadic check. I just happen to be the guy that got busted, right? I get off in Michigan, in Detroit Airport. You want to know what registers? The same 4 spots. Guess what I had to go through again? They fill me up again. I come back from Michigan to the Harrisburg International. Guess what happens again? So now I'm determined I have 4 pellets stuck in me somewhere.
Did you ever have them some resurface? So when I was a kid, we were shooting clays, and I actually got shot with ricochet pellets from about 10 feet away. So it's like a thing in my family. When you turn 12 years old, my father would buy you a single-shot shotgun, right? That was like a thing. And so my brother had just gotten his as a 12-year-old. I was 16 at the time. We're 4 years apart. And we're shooting sporting clays with it, right? Well, none of us really had thought anything of it, but we just assumed that my brother knew that if you didn't fire, how to drop the hammer properly, like nice and soft. So my brother had seen us do it because we had some guys shooting up follow-up. Well, luckily, I was on the left side. It was my right leg. He was on the right side of the clay thrower. And pull up, I shoot the clay. My brother doesn't shoot, and he goes and turns with the gun pointed down at the ground, thank God, from 10 feet away and drops the hammer hard. Gun goes off and ricochets and blistered the whole right side of my right leg. And for I want to say almost 7 years, I had little 7.5-inch size 8 shot, whatever it was, that would literally just randomly surface out of my leg. And it was like you had a piece of dirt. You just roll it and the layer of skin would peel off and it would just fall out. But everybody learned a valuable lesson that day. And 1, don't assume that anybody knows anything. Mm-hmm. 2, always have somebody in charge of what's going on and teach your kids, the proper way to handle their firearm. And 3, always keep your damn muzzle pointed to the ground if you're not going to shoot anything.
I learned a valuable lesson today.
So
do not sit on a sharp
knife. Not a 5-inch knife.
Do not sit on a sharp knife in a bad sheet. I'm just saying. Sounds like it goes bad, and I don't want to figure it out, fellas. I don't want to be that guy.
Kidding, dude. I'll take his experience as a note. Jeez.
Yeah. Note to self. Don't let your grandmother back over.
Right. Exactly.
Watch out when grandma's backing up the Buick.
Well, my uncle Dave. Well, I don't. You guys don't know Justin Whooper. His dad, my uncle Dave, actually ran me over once. But
nice.
What you guys were saying earlier,
that explains everything.
Yeah. Well, we used to torture the guy too, though. To be fair, we did. We tortured the guy. He used to chase us with hockey masks and actual chainsaws with the blade and with the chain and everything.
Yeah, he didn't take the chain off. I just want to point that out.
Yeah, no. But what you guys were saying earlier about the dads being Superman, I'm not sure where that kicks in, but I think, again, just from what I do, I think that actually comes from we don't want you to worry. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because this Friday, this is why I have to wear this, I fell down the stairs. And it humbled good. I hit the bottom, and I'm like, am I dead? No. The one kid goes, are you all right? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Well, I'm not. Hands broken and all this other stuff. But as far as they need to know, I'm fine. So then you get up and you go on about your day.
I think you're right. I think you're right, Chris.
You don't want them to worry.
Right.
Part of being a dad is you want them to know they're safe and you're good.
Yeah.
I hate saying you're right. Can we not do that no more? That's scary. I don't like that.
Although, again, please tell them I am so sorry for laughing like that.
Dude, it's totally fine. We laugh about it now. He laughs about it now too.
I can't apologize because I think it's freaking hilarious. And I
mean, it is freaking hilarious.
If it happened today, I would say I am so sorry. But if it happened so many years ago, I can't. Okay. I'm just going to say it's funny and a great story. I'm glad you shared it on here.
Listen, even what in the moment of my dad bent over in an L, literally in an L, like butt sticking out, head down, looking at his cheek.
Like with a handle.
At first it was like, whoa. And then all of a sudden I couldn't help, even as a kid, but to laugh. And he's like, quit freaking laughing and pull it out. And I'm like, are you sure? And he goes, yeah, just yank it quick. And I'm like, okay. But the whole time I was chuckling about this, But yeah. No, it was quite the experience. My father no longer carries a fixed blade knife with him whenever he's hunting. It is now a locking folder. There's no fixed blade knives anymore.
Yeah, I could honestly kind of understand that.
Yeah, I think he's a little traumatized.
Ben, I think
I'm leaving my buck knife at home from now on.
Kidding, dude. Jeez.
So next Monday we got to figure out. I'll get us an answer here in the next few days, guys. If he's getting on, I'm pretty sure he's gonna get on. I'll send him a message. Today's Monday, so I'll probably give him to Wednesday and send a message. If not, we'll discuss outside of here. We'll get a topic, and we'll get a topic posted for next week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys took notice, but Big Sexy Outdoors posted a TikTok, and in 24 hours, we're at 56.5 thousand views, and we just got over 100 followers in 24 hours.
Wow.
Because my muzzle loader wouldn't fire. Thank God they didn't get the other part where I almost wrapped it around a tree. But the comments are ridiculous. It's going big, so that's good for us. And that's why I try to video and record everything we do. Try to keep, even if it's bad footage, it's sometimes you get something out of it.
Yeah.
Like you and Bill reenacting Lion King on the
yeah, that was not Lion
King.
Who was holding who? That's all I need to know on Pride Rock.
Well, I tackled Bill because he kept making fun of my muzzleloader, said it was a little boy's toy. And I was like, that's it. I had enough. I said, Dave, hold this. Put the camera on record. And when Bill wasn't looking, dude, I jumped right on top of him. And then I was laughing that hard. Bill was laughing. I was like, I'm going to stand up and get away. Then the son of a gun grabbed me by the legs and took me down when I went to walk away. So then he's on top saying, say uncle. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm not big in losing. So I grabbed right for the sack.
Yeah, I heard that part. I
went poof and squeezed, and he goes, "Oh, my brother!" I'm not big in losing, so. But we had a great time. Dave Bell and I, we had a great time muzzleloader hunting. We actually had a poacher we found on his property, and I won't go into detail in case we need a story next week.
Right.
That'll be a good topic for next week.
Well, we found a poacher. We spent a lot of time, and let me tell you, it wasn't good. We actually caught the guy, so I have a great story for us. We'll go from there. So early bird game calls. Sounds like he'll be on next Monday. So you guys, if you haven't checked his stuff, any of you guys, I know Chris has. I sent him the stuff. And I post on Facebook. I'm sure you guys checked it out. Usually we post each other's stuff. We look. Check that out because I think you'll really find it interesting. There's some really cool parts that I don't think you guys know of after talking to him. So I'll save that for the story. Like his age and stuff. I think you guys will really find some of that cool. Yeah. And we'll go into that. And don't forget February, guys. We need one more outdoors woman. I don't care if they're professional. I don't care. We need one more. So we are booked, Chris. The date's booked. The 16th is Angie Cokes. The 13th is Tess Talley, right?
6th is Cokes. The next is Tally. And then the next one after that is
Linda,
yeah.
So then we have available the 27th yet. We're trying to get filled. So also, you four guys, if you have a kid interested in hunting, a kid interested in hunting, I want you, especially a young girl youth hunter, get them involved, talk to them, see if they want to come on the show for that month. I would love to see more of the kids kind of take over that month session. We'll be on and kind of watch and make sure they're, they know what they're doing. But I want to ask some questions myself to Tess Talley and Angie Cokes, and I'm not going to lie to you. But I think they're awesome, man. If you guys check out Angie Cokes and all that spear stuff she does,
And then I'm talking to Billy for March because I told him, I said, we're booked all now through until March. So I'm talking to him about coming on then. And I did finish the last 3 cards for Gone Hunting. It's in the process of printing. I did also include a special plastic insert to hold everything, so that'll be cool. That just got approved. But yeah, I'd show you the cards, but like you said, we'll save them for next time.
Cool.
Yeah, we had so many good stories and so many laughs. God's honest truth that I didn't even notice we were at 1:17.
Whoops. Yeah.
Like I didn't even know it was going.
He said 1:17, but he can't read.
I have my glasses off. It's hour 17, but my glasses are off. I really can't even read your guys' names right now.
Wait, who am I? Which one am I?
The good news is when I go hunting, they're all bucks when my glasses are off.
No matter what parking lot he's in.
Yep, no matter where I'm at, no matter what goes on, I'm shooting something. But no, listen, guys, I super appreciate you having on. You guys know you are always invited to join the show. Like I said, I'll get a hold of you Wednesday. We'll get a topic together if he's not getting on. And absolutely love the stories tonight. I had such a good time. I don't know about you guys. I had a blast tonight.
Oh, this is fantastic. Thank you so much. Great stories, Brandon and Chris.
Oh, there's plenty more carnage stories of my father, but that one, they don't all involve hunting though. But that one,
lives rent free, man. That lives rent free up here.
That's forever.
In March, I also have a Damascus knife guy gonna come on from Texas.
Just not in your butt.
So we have his dad on as an expert witness.
So yeah, we can do that. We can do that. No, I'm being serious. I really have that guy coming on. When Chris said March, my bell went off. But yeah, maybe we should have your dad on that one, Brandon. We can ask him how we know if they're good or not.
Well, so March we booked our snow goose hunt. It's going to be me, my father, my buddy Joey.
Cool.
For March 14th and 15th, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so this will be my my father's first time ever waterfowl hunting, ever at all.
Are we gonna video this hunt? Like, are we gonna
Heck
video?
yeah. Oh yeah, I'm gonna video the hunt.
I better see
My
footage.
dad will be there.
Footage.
I will make sure.
Dude,
He froze again.
It's that good. He froze.
Yeah.
That dude's like ice cream. He froze.
Oh yeah, it's cold here in New York. But yeah, so we're gonna be doing that. That'll be a good time, and get some video footage of that, and maybe we can talk about it the following week after we get back.
Oh yeah, definitely. We can definitely make that happen. That'll be cool. That'll actually be a real cool episode. You can show us your videos and your stuff. Hopefully, you get it to us quick. We can get a YouTube video posted right away of it.
Yeah, I'll try and video the first day and send it, and just keep rolling from there. So.
Listen, even if you have to take the SD card and mail it to Chris, we'll send you an SD card back. No, I'm serious. We do it with Skip all the time. He sends us an SD card in the mail, and we send the SD card back. I mean, that's
yeah. I've actually got a bunch of duck hunting videos too on a couple of my SD cards. So
send them in.
Yeah, I need to get one of those little readers that I can just plug it into and everything, and I can see it and go from there. So
I have like 5. Let me know. I'll...
All right.
Yeah. Let me know which ones you guys use, because I've got one and it doesn't work well.
All right.
Yeah, definitely send me a thing on which one I should buy.
Sounds good.
So,
all right, guys.
Have a good night, guys, man. Thank you very much.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Good
night.
Good seeing you.
Good seeing you.